Hello everyone, welcome back to the new video of AP Knowledge Point. Imagine waking up tomorrow to find petrol prices have doubled. Food has become more expensive, shipping costs have skyrocketed. Inflation is rising across the globe. Now imagine that all of this happened because of a narrow stretch of water that is only about 33 kilometers wide at its narrowest point. Sounds unbelievable. Welcome to the Strait of Hormuz, the world's most strategically important maritime checkpoint. At the G7 Summit 2026, India warned that instability in West Asia is not just a regional issue, it can quickly become a global economic crisis. So, why is this waterway so important? And why did India urge world leaders to protect it? Let's find out. Welcome back to our G7 Summit 2026 series. So far, we have explored India's diplomatic outreach and policy proposals. Today, we will focus on a topic that affects every country, every business, and every household: global supply chains and energy security. By the end of this episode, you will understand why the Strait of Hormuz matters, how conflicts in West Asia affect global markets, why India raised concerns at the G7, what solutions India advocated. So let's begin. Where is the Strait of Hormuz? Look at any map of West Asia. Between Iran and Oman lies a narrow waterway called the Strait of Hormuz. Although relatively narrow, it connects the Persian Gulf to the Gulf of Oman and the Arabian Sea. This route is used by oil tankers, LNG carriers, and cargo ships transporting energy and goods to markets across Asia, Europe, and beyond. Because so much trade passes through this corridor, any disruption can have worldwide consequences. This is why the Strait of Hormuz is often described as one of the world's most strategically important maritime routes. Why does it matter to India? India imports a significant share of the energy it consumes. Much of that energy reaches India by sea. If shipping routes become unsafe or delayed, transportation cost can rise. Energy imports become more expensive. Business face higher operating cost. Consumers may ultimately pay more for goods and services. India therefore has a strong interest in keeping maritime routes open, secure and predictable. At the summit, India emphasized the importance of freedom of navigation and the safety of civilian shipping. Let me ask you a question. Before watching this video, had you heard of the Strait of Hormuz? If yes, then type in the comment section. If no, then give your answers in the comment section. Let us see how many people already knew about this critical waterway. How regional conflicts become global problems. Conflicts rarely remain confined to one place. When instability affects a major shipping corridor, the impact can spread rapidly. For example, shipping routes may become longer. Insurance costs for vessels can increase. Delivery schedules may be disrupted. Businesses may face shortages of critical inputs. These effects can influence industries ranging from manufacturing to agriculture. India highlighted that such disruptions often affect developing countries particularly hard because they have fewer financial resources to absorb sudden increases in cost. Food, fertilizer, and fuel security. India also drew attention to three interconnected areas: food security, fertilizer availability, and fuel supplies. Agriculture depends on fertilizer, transport depends on fuel, food distribution depends on reliable logistics. When one part of this chain is disrupted, it affects can spread through the entire economy. That's why protecting supply chain is not only an economic issue, it is also linked to food affordability and overall economic stability. India's message on economic resilience. India called for stronger international cooperation to help countries withstand external shocks. The idea of economic resilience is simple. Countries should prepare for disruptions rather than merely reacting to them. Possible approaches include diversifying supply chains, strengthening regional partnerships, improving infrastructure, enhancing disaster preparedness, building strategic reserves where appropriate, and the broader goal is to reduce vulnerability when global crises occur. Why this matters to everyone? You might wonder, how does a discussion at an international summit affect my daily life? The answer is simple. Global events influence local economies. Fuel prices affect transportation. Transportation affects food prices. Business costs affect employment and investment. International stability often supports economic stability at home. This is why discussions about maritime security and supply chains matter far beyond diplomacy. At the G7 Summit 2026, India emphasized that secure trade routes, stable supply chains, and international cooperation are essential for global prosperity. The Strait of Hormuz may appear as a small waterway on a map, but its importance extends across continents. Protecting global trade routes is not only about ships and cargo, it is about energy security, economic resilience, and the well being of millions of people. In our final episode, we will bring everything together. Did India's participation in the G7 Summit 2026 mark a turning point? Has India evolved from a rule follower into a rule shaper? We will review the summit's biggest takeaways, India's long term strategic vision, and what these developments could mean for the future of global governance. So don't miss the grand finale. If you like this video, like it, share it, and comment below. Don't forget to subscribe the channel, and to get notified for the new videos, press the bell icon.